Hello and welcome to 30 minutes of Yin Yoga. If you've never watched one of my videos before, welcome. My name is English. I teach Yin Yoga every week at Coastal Climbing. And this video is meant to give you a taste for what Yin is all about. The postures are held for a minimum of 2 minutes, max of 5 minutes. For this episode, since it's only 30 minutes long, we're only going to hold each posture for 2 minutes today, just to give you a little taste of Yin. If you do have a pillow or a bolster, that would be great to use for the practice. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Start to breathe into the hands. This is great to do first thing in the morning when you first wake up. Just to connect to the body and the breath. All right, so we are transitioning into our first Yin pose, child's pose. So if you do have that pillow or bolster, a rolled up blanket, anything to give you some support, it would be great to slide it beneath the belly, beneath the hips. The knees are going to come wide, and then big toes are touching or close to one another. When we hold postures for a long period of time, the joints might start to ache. So if you know that you already have achy knees, maybe find a blanket to bring beneath them. And once you have settled into the pose, settle into the breath. And the breath is the greatest tool we have to understand how the body is feeling. So if we're taking short, shallow breaths, the body's in panic mode. And sometimes we can do that in the day and not even realize. But when we come to the mat and we practice, it's all about tuning in and realization. Where are we right now? Where is the breath? How am I feeling? What's tight? What's open? Nowhere to go, nowhere to rush to, but right here into the body. And slowly start to work the hands back up, coming out of our first posture and into tabletop. Super slow, cow and cat, back and forth. Exhaling for cat, inhaling for cow. Yin yoga does not rush, and it should not be rushed. Allow the breath to initiate the movement, reminding you to breathe in slowly, breathe out slowly. And come to a neutral spine, grab that pillow, bolster, blanket. We're going to come into a Z sit right behind it. So your left thigh is going to be parallel to the top of your mat and to that pillow or the bolster. Basically, you just want something to prop up your left rib cage. So the left foot is going to come on top of that right knee. And then top arm draping up and over the head. This is called deer pose. If you want a little extra, you can slide that top leg back farther to get into that hip flexor. And this is opening up the entire right side body. Again, if you feel achy in the hip, the shoulder, anything that's making contact with the mat, don't suffer. Find a blanket, find some padding. Deep belly breaths. By belly breath, I mean when you inhale, the belly is expanding. When you exhale, the belly is drawing up and in to push the air out. I'm recording this video just a couple days before Christmas. And practicing yin, practicing slowing down is really a good time in the year to do it. When we feel so rushed, it's good to check in with the nervous system. All right, slowly emerge from deer pose, turning to the back of the mat, windshield wiper the knees side to side, move that through. And we're going to transition into butterfly to the back of the mat. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. You can sit on that blanket, pillow, bolster, whatever you have to elevate the hips. It will actually allow you to tip forward a little bit easier. I'm just going to sit on the ground as I like that pull of my head, lengthening out my neck. But maybe try each one, see what works best for you. Non-striving, non-reaching. We're not tugging on the feet. We're not pulling the head down, but instead allowing gravity's weight to draw us closer to the earth, plugging us into the mat. Breathing. The rushing, the buzzing of this season can create tension in the body. Open your hands, soften the fingers, and remind yourself it's okay to receive. We must receive to give. Last breath here. And slowly walking the hands back up without moving the legs. Bring the hands inside the knees, pressing knees into the hands into the knees, and then other side, just to stabilize the tailbone, the sacrum. Closing the knees in like a book, and then rounding, dropping the head. Let's take 2 breaths here. Right, transitioning to deer on the other side. So right thigh is going to come parallel to the pillow, the top of the mat. Working down into that Z sit, propping up the rib cage. And top arm draping up and overhead like a heavy branch. Again, if you want a little extra, push the top leg back. Even here, can you imagine breathing 360 degrees with the rib cage, expanding on the inhale, softening on the exhale. And slowly emerge, bringing the top hand down to the ground to push you up. Back into that windshield wiper the knees side to side. And whenever you're ready, just gonna make your way into downward facing dog. Take those movements that your body craves. Bending one knee, bending the other. And little step up with the feet. Bend the knees a lot, reaching that right hand for the left calf. Start to straighten out the legs, lengthening down through the hamstrings. And bend the knees. Set the right hand down and switch sides. Left hand, right calf. Grab hold, straightening out the legs, lift the tailbone. Breathe. And bend the knees, set that left hand back down. Coming into downward facing dog. On an inhale, float that right leg, bend the knee, open up your hip. You can stay right here or travel all the way back and down, flipping the dog. Push the belly up, push the feet down, drop the head back. Belly breaths. Flip it all the way back over, extend the leg up. On an exhale breath, knee to nose, step the foot in between the palms. We're coming into dragon pose. You can heel toe the right foot out to the edge of the mat. Untuck the toes. And working through the layers of stretch. So starting up on the hands, long spine. This is an intense pose and it should not be rushed. Using the breath as a tool to check in. If you can take those deep belly breaths, maybe work your way down to the next layer of stretch onto one or both forearms, onto a prop like a block or a pillow or a blanket. In Yin Yoga, we play the edge, that boundary of our comfort zone, that boundary of expansion. And there's a difference between expansion and pain. If you lose the breath, if it becomes shallow, it's a signal to come back. Last breath here. And working all the way back up and into half pigeon. So that right foot is going to heel toe to the left side of the mat. If you want to support under the hips, you can just slide it long ways underneath both hips. And again, working through the layers of stretch, starting up on the tippy fingers, allowing the hips to heavy. And only when the body and the breath feel ready, you can slowly work down onto the forearms. We hold a lot of emotion in our hips. So sometimes it can feel like opening Pandora's box when we open up the hips. If that's the case for you, know that you can have an emotion, you can have a thought, but you are not that emotion. You are not that thought. You are a witness, an observer. Slowly walk the hands all the way back up. You can stay right here or catch the quad stretch, bending the back foot, reaching around with the opposite hand, right hand. Drop the head, push the heart through. Release. Working your way back into downward facing dog. Take your time. Next inhale, flip your left leg, bend the knee, open the hip, stay here or flip the dog. Flip it all the way back over. Big inhale, extending the leg. Exhale, dragon pose. The beautiful asymmetry of our bodies. The side might feel surprisingly worse or surprisingly better than the other. Go in with curiosity. We spend too much time judging. This time is for curiosity, gratitude. Drop the judgment. If you want a little extra support, you can always tuck the back toes, adding a little bit of muscular engagement to that back leg to support the hips. And breathe. Last breath. Working your way up and over to half pigeon. or in yin, it's called sleeping swan. And that support is there for you if you'd like it under the hips. And working down through your layers of stretch. Somewhere along the way, bolsters, pillows, blankets, blocks became known as a weakness in yoga. That's just simply not the case. They are a tool for us to use just like our yoga mat. Supporting the body so that we can dive deeper into the practice. Requesting support is not a weakness. Work your way back up onto the hands. If you went for the quad stretch on the other side, try it on this side. And all the way back, downward facing dog. You can slide that bolster out of the way. And shift forward and onto the forearms for Sphinx pose. So here in Sphinx, the toes are untucked. The belly and the hips are heavy into the mat. Lungs are buoyant, pulling the heart through. And isometrically pulling the forearms back towards the hips and the feet. This is not an easy posture, but it is great to strengthen the back and open the front body. Good job. Slide the elbows out, rest the forehead on the hands. Take 3 big breaths here, feeling the expansion of your belly into the mat. Flip over onto the back. Find your support, bringing it up to the sacrum and low back. So instead of just resting the hips, you're resting right above the hips. And draw the knees up into the chest. Extend the legs up for supported waterfall. So you can do this without the support. You could also do it up against a wall. This is an inversion. Toes above the heart, reversing that flow. We spend so much time on our feet, running through the day. It's a good time to acknowledge all the work that our tired legs do for us. As we slow down the running in our legs, slow down that running in your mind. Slowly draw the knees back into the chest, planting the feet on the floor, dropping the hips over the pillow, the bolster, the blanket, that support. So increasing that lumbar curve. This is a gentle, gentle heart opener, allowing more space in the abdomen for the diaphragm and the lungs to expand. Big belly breaths. Slowly bring some movement into the fingertips, reaching them for the thighs. Roll all the way up to a seat. Gentle hugging in of the knees to the forehead. Feel that rush through the low back. Breathe into it. For the last couple minutes of this practice together, we're going to sit in meditation with breath work. So go ahead and find an easy seat, something comfortable. And for the breath work, we're going to do Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. So for alternate nostril breathing, the right thumb is going to come to the right nostril. I like to bring my first and middle finger to my third eye, right between the eyebrows. And then the ring finger is going to come to the left nostril. So starting with the thumb on the right side. Big inhale through the left nostril. Exhale through the left nostril. And then you're going to switch. Inhale through the left nostril. Ring finger to the left nostril. Lift the thumb. Exhale through the right. Clear it out. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch, lift the ring finger, slow exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch, exhale through the right. Alternating, inhale through the right. Switch, exhale through the left, rationing that breath out. Slow, steady inhale through the left. Switch, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Switch, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Switch, exhale through the right. Allow this breath to captivate your attention. Inhale through the right. Switch, exhale through the left. From here, you can release the hand, palm up on the thigh. Bring the inner gaze up and in between the eyebrows to your third eye, this place of intuition, of knowing. Not of language or words, but true knowing. Your hands together at heart center. Bow your forehead to your thumbs, bowing to that place of knowing. Light in me sees and honors that same light within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining in to Yin. Can't wait to hear your feedback. Hope you're feeling good, and happy holidays.